Good afternoon, music world. John here from What's Spinning here tonight to chat about this latest album from Indigo De Souza. It's called Precipice. Now, if you don't know, she is a singer-songwriter out of North Carolina. She's been making a name for herself for the last few years. She started turning heads with her debut, I Love My Mom, which at the time, I could kind of take it or leave it. I wasn't really feeling much from it. However, in retrospect, I did really end up enjoying it at the end of the day. I really did enjoy the pop grunge charm that we got here, the deeply human lyrics, as well as the sort of rough around the edges style of the album, which a lot of that came from the playing of Mr. MJ Lenderman. He's a cool guy. It's a genuinely strong debut in retrospect. Now, she did follow that up with Any Shape You Take, a much more cleaner album that showed her taking some pretty big swings. But for me, the slicker production kind of just washed away all of the genuine coolness and, realness of her music. While I get the hype, it just really hasn't been for me. And All of This Will End, which dropped a few years ago, certainly was a much more compelling record for me. It definitely had the emotional highs of her debut, but at the same time, it just still wasn't clicking with me altogether. Now, these new singles that she's been dropping have been a lot more poppy, a lot more in the indie pop realm, and that's totally fine. Now, these new singles that she's been dropping, easily some of her poppiest yet. She's definitely dipping her toes more into the indie pop world, which, from a distance is actually pretty exciting because they are some really decent singles. As a matter of fact, the first stretch of this record is pretty damn solid and some of her more memorable material in a while. Really do love Be My Love, which kicks this album off. It's a very warm, serene, summery intro. And I love the way Indigo's vocals sort of bloom over these very warm, shimmering synths. It's quietly powerful. That real focus continues on Crying Over Nothing, which is also a really solid tune. It's airy and blissful on the surface, but once again, it starts really cutting deep with some of these lyrics. It's poppier, certainly, but it really does cut deep still. Crush continues to dial into the more playful nature of this record. It's sweet, it's sunny, it's incredibly charming, and not only that, but Indigo herself sounds like she's having a blast, albeit a very melancholy tune. And Be Like the Water is just a great medium for her sound. It just seems like the perfect blend of these two sounds that she has dealt with over the past few years. The emotionally raw style of her very early stuff, but the much more sleeker production of this record here. I mean, it takes these very small, very intimate thoughts and turns them into a genuine indie pop anthem. And Heartthrob, I mean, say what you will, it's probably the most poppy and catchy tune here, but it's also one of the more memorable singles she's dropped in a while. It's driving, it's urgent, it's got a hell of an instrumental to it. But it's also got a huge hook, very raw lyrics, and not only that, but Indigo's voice, just, that inner voice is coming out beautifully, sounding confident as well. When she's dialed in on this sound, I certainly don't mind it. Unfortunately, though, the second half of this record, things really start falling apart very quickly. The early charm of this record just starts to disintegrate with Not Afraid, and it still sounds great from a distance. I mean, the production definitely sounds very pleasant, but Indigo's voice and presence all of a sudden sounds a whole lot more generic. Dinner doesn't really help either. This one kind of sounds like a soft reset for the record halfway through it, which we really didn't need. It's also just, I don't know, it just really doesn't hit me. It doesn't really grip me. Things are just starting to blend together faster and faster. Heartbreaker really isn't my cup of tea either. I mean, this one just had me really, really missing these sort of lo-fi, intimate recordings of her early years because nothing about this track tells me that this is an Indigo De Souza track. Like, this could have been anybody in indie pop right now. And this album's closer, the title track, Precipice, just breezes along and doesn't really grip me either. I mean, once again, it has that big, beautiful production style, and it sounds nice from a distance, but it never really goes anywhere. I mean, instead of closing this album off with this big, powerful, emotional statement, it kind of just fizzles out. And even if the second half of this record does stumble a little bit, there are some late in the album highlights. Like Clean It Up, for example. This one is one of the most raw and powerful and emotionally just intense tracks here. I mean, it cuts through all the polish of this record and reminds you of what made her music so powerful to begin with. It's tender, it's heartfelt, and one of the most therapeutic moments here. And Pass It By really caught me off the guard, but in the best way. I mean, this big, bubbly beat is so much fun. It got my hips a-swaying. And while the auto-tune vocals of this track, I get it, they're going to be polarizing one way or another, I kind of feel like it actually adds to this track and gives it this sort of whimsical nature. It's vibrant, it's full of life, it's a hell of a late album deep cut. You know, when Indigo's really dialed in here, I don't think that this sort of more indie pop direction is really bringing her down. As a matter of fact, I feel like, you know, when it's done right here, it's making her music hit even harder. My only problem is the second half of this record is not nearly as consistent and as confident as the first half. It's just another mixed bag, sadly. The highs are high, but there are a lot of lows as well. I'm feeling a very strong 6 on this album, but let me know what you all think down below. If you like the video, be sure to give us a like, give us a subscribe, and let me know down below what you would like for me to chat about in the future. And until next time, have a great day, friends.